Hey guys, quick little bonus upload for me today just because an amazing showcase happened. And you guys know I cover Ashes on this channel. I always have a referral link in my description if you'd like to make a free account. And today, I'm going to show you why you might seriously consider at least signing up for a free account. There was a new Ranger showcase that dropped today, as well as the Q3 announcement for the beginning of Alpha 2, which is a big deal. Q3, we're going to be able to test this game. I'm going to go through a little bit of the Ranger abilities that were showcased today, and I know a lot of my viewers are New World based, so I just want to show you what Archery could be in an MMO, because New World did not hit the mark for me. It was pretty much a dead combat style in terms of PvE. It was always decent in PvP, but it always felt underwhelming. So today, I'm going to go through a little bit of this showcase with you guys, and hopefully get you excited for an upcoming MMO, because god, I cannot wait to play this thing. So it's difficult to convey just how deep the combat in Ashes of Creation is going to be, but for those of you who are new, we can go over a few abilities that were showcased on the live stream today, so you can hopefully get a better idea of what the game is going to be all about. So there's 3 new mechanics that were shown today. Well, there was more than 3, but the 3 that stood out to me were the mark mechanics, which have associated hunts as well. You can see he's using the mark mechanics right now, and you'll also notice he's able to use a mark while charging what is the red ability Headshot. They're auxiliary mechanics that you can basically imbue your arrows with, and I thought this was very cool. You can also use them without firing an arrow on their own, but there is a parallel system, so to speak, in place where you can use it alongside your charged attacks, maybe your heavy attacks, your ability Snipe, which is a charged heavy attack, which is a really cool way to add depth to your game. So the 3 abilities from left to right on his bar: Mark of the Tiger, Mark of the Raven, and Mark of the Bear. Mark of the Tiger is going to give you 50% increased critical hit chance. Mark of the Raven is going to give you bonus damage for every hit that you connect on your target, and the damage will increase the lower in health your target is. And Mark of the Bear is going to mitigate 25% of your opponent's armor. Think of it as a rend from New World, if that makes any sense. And then the 3 associated hunts, which he's going over right now, are the inverse of those. Well, think of it as the effects, but the positive side of them, so the inverse, but applied to you. So that means Hunt of the Tiger is going to increase your critical damage, so Hunt plus Mark will basically be increased critical chance and increased critical damage. And then we have Hunt of the Raven, which is going to increase your damage in general. It'll increase your physical penetration. And Hunt of the Bear is going to increase your armor by 25%. And you'll probably have noticed that the arrows he was shooting were auto-locking onto his target, and that's actually a really cool feature of this MMO. You can choose between which combat system you want to play. You can either play action combat, which is free shooting the bow, similar to New World, or you can do tab target, which is that good old-fashioned MMO combat system, and each is going to have their place in the game. I'm assuming if you're a mage, you would like to use tab target, so you don't have to recast all of your very slow but heavily damaging abilities. You'll see on screen he's showcasing the new ability Scattershot, which I think they absolutely nailed the animation on. I mean, to think that this is pre-alpha and these animations are where they are, it's insane. For the old New World players, you'll remember Scattershot actually used to be an ability in New World as well. I believe they removed it and put an Explosive Shot in place of it, I believe. I know they removed one ability for Explosive Shot, and I'm pretty sure it was Scattershot, which is a shame because it's a very good PvE ability. And here you can see you can concentrate the beam of arrows to all go through the same target if you want, and it does penetrate as well, assuming you're not, blocking with your shield as a tank. That does work in this game if you want to stop penetration. Pause, that sounded kind of weird. And next up, they're going to be showcasing an ability that's a community favorite, and it was actually shown in a previous showcase, but it's had such a massive rework both visually and mechanically since then that it just had to be shown again. And it's one of the coolest archer abilities that I've ever seen in a game. I mean, look at that just visually, but they've also added functionality where you can change the direction that you're flipping mid-air. It can be used as a flanking or an escape tool, and they've also changed the height at which you can jump at. You can jump very close to the ground and just do 1 or 2 airstrike splats. You don't have to do the full 3. In my opinion, this is one of the coolest parts about being an archer on this game, even if you won't be using it very much. I believe it has a pretty high cooldown, as it should. You'll see I put the ability on screen. It can root the foes that it hits, which is quite a powerful effect. And you can also see he used it to clear a gap between two little ridges there. So it does interact with the environment as well. And I think it adds a nice little depth to the gameplay when you're just, you know, out exploring. If I haven't mentioned it yet, Ashes of Creation has a map which is about 30 times the size of New World. So you're not going to be exploring the map in one day, probably not even in 1 month. I'm sure there's going to be things a year or two after the game comes out that people are discovering for the first time. And here we can see he's showcasing the Thundershot ability, which has a pretty cool passive effect where if you're more than 10 meters away from your target, it does an AoE hit splat. You'll see it did not do a splash there, but if you're 10 or more meters away, you'll see a little AoE hit splat, which is nice because as an archer it incentivizes you to keep your distance, maintain that gap, which I thought was a pretty cool feature. Very creative. And next up we get a quick look at the basic trap ability for the archer, which if you're coming from New World you're thinking to yourself, there's absolutely no way that's going to get any use, I don't care how they implement it. But I think you might be wrong. You can see how far the trap can be thrown and it's also quite big. I know in New World, it's been over 2 years and nobody uses the trap ability unless you're trying to get some niche YouTube footage. But in here, I don't know, it looks like there might actually be hope for it. I like how far you can put it in, just the bare size of it alone, no pun intended, might actually make it useful. And then to wrap things up, they basically just covered the two escape spells there, Call of the Wild, which is a, you know, cleanse debuff and increase speed for 20 per second. It's just a little haste and debuff cleanse, and the other one is just an escape tool where it creates a little bit of a gap for you. I think it's a little flip or something like that, but very impressive showcase. I just wanted to do a quick recap for you guys, and you'll see the 3 abilities in the top right, Shift R, Shift F, and Shift T. Those are just imbued arrows and they each have their own special effect. I'll try to throw them on screen if I can find them for you guys. All of these abilities are not yet listed on the Ashes of Creation wiki. The showcase just went out today, so I'll try to see what I can do, but I'm trying to bring light to this game, man. It looks so good, and once you go down the rabbit hole, especially if you're just getting into the game now, there's a lot of old showcases you can watch that really make you feel like this game is going to be something special. So thank you guys for watching. If you'd like to sign up for a free account, just click my referral link in the description down below, and I believe you can reserve your forum name. Don't quote me on that, but it does ask you to input a name, so who knows, you might be able to reserve something cheeky if you're early. So thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you guys with the regular New World upload on Saturday. See you then.